Hi, my name is Machado. I work at the Santa Clara Valley Water District, and I have a story for you today. It's called The ABCs of Water. First, we need to explore some of the vocabulary. The first word is aquifer. An aquifer is all the gravel, sand, and rocks in the ground. I have a different picture here for you. You can kind of see the blue is the water, and it seeps down into the gravel, sand, and rocks. Let's take a close look and see how that happens. Yep. Here we have some gravel, sand, and rocks. And when we water our plants or there's rain, the water seeps down into the ground, just like it's doing here in this jar. It's seeping down and fills in between all the gravel, sand, and rocks. Now, the gravel, sand, and rocks in the ground is called an aquifer when it's holding all that water. That's an aquifer. Estuary. An estuary is where fresh water from rivers meets the salt water from the ocean. The San Francisco Bay is really an estuary. Glacier. A glacier is a huge mountain of snow and ice, and it's slow moving. I actually have two pictures of glaciers in the book. Headwaters. The headwaters are the source of any river, creek, or stream. This is a picture of the Sacramento River's headwaters, way up by Mount Shasta. Mist. A mist is a thin fog with condensation near the ground. An iceberg. Iceberg is a large mass of floating ice. It's usually broken off of a glacier. Pool. Now, I bet you think of a swimming pool when we say the word pool, but actually in our story we're talking about tide pools. When the tide comes in, it leaves a lot of water when it recedes or goes back out. And that water that it leaves is usually in pools. We have three in our story. There's one here, and there's one there. Recycled water. Recycled water is water that has been used in your home, and it goes down the drain to a plant. At the plant, they clean it up. When they finish cleaning it up, it looks pretty good. We take this water and we use it as a coolant in manufacturing. We use it on plants, on landscape. When we get it, it comes in purple pipe, just like this. It's not okay for drinking, but it's okay for a lot of other uses. Upland. Now, an upland is a mountainous area or an elevated area. And usually there are lakes or pools or rivers coming down from the upland area. Vapor. This is a picture of Old Faithful in Yellowstone National Park. Vapor is a visible suspension of water molecules in the air. Very cool. Wetland. A wetland area is a low area that is saturated with water. A xerophyte. Now, a xerophyte is a plant that can grow in a very dry conditions, and it's able to withstand long periods of drought. Are you ready to hear our story? How much water in a glacier? How much water in the sea? How much water in a cloud? How much water can there be? How much water in an aquifer? How much water in the bay? How much water in a cloudburst? Do you see it every day? How much water in a downpour? And how much is held behind a dam? How much water in an estuary? Is it more than a gram? How much water in a fountain? And in a glacier? Do you think? How much water at the headwaters? How much water do you drink? How much water in an iceberg? How much water in a jug? How much water in a kettle? How much water can you lug? How much water in a lake? How much water in a mist? How much water in a nacho? Will it fit inside your fist? How much water in the ocean? How much water in a pool? How much water in a queen who is wearing a jewel? How much water is recycled? How much water in the sea? How much water in the tide? Do you drink water in your tea? How much water in an upland? How much in vapor? Can you guess? How much water in a wetland? Do you like it? Please say yes. How much water in a xerophyte? How much water in a yak? How much water in a xander? How much water can you stack? How much water in a glacier? How much water in the sea? How much water in a cloud? How much water can there be? Have fun finding the answers to all of those questions. I have another one for you. Where does our water come from in Santa Clara County? Here's a little song to help you learn the answers to that question. Where can our water be found? 30% is in the ground. From reservoirs, streams, and rain, percolation, ponds, it's plain. All of this seeps in the ground. We pump it up, that's where it's found. Where does our water come from? We import it, yes, quite a sum. 55% is on its way, from the mountains to the bay. Government, federal, and state, San Francisco, we compensate. Turn on the tap, what do you see? Water flowing, it's not free. Imported and from the ground, more water had to be found. Recycled water, add to these, but save water, won't you please? But save water, won't you please? Let's try and sing this song together. Where can our water be found? 30% is in the ground. From reservoirs, streams, and rain, and percolation, ponds, it's plain. All of these seep in the ground. We pump it up, that's where it's found. Where does our water come from? We import it, yes, quite a sum. 55% is on its way, from the mountains every day. Government, federal, and state, San Francisco, we compensate. Turn on the tap, what do you see? Water flowing, it's not free. Imported and from the ground, more water had to be found. Recycled water, add to these, but save water, won't you please? But save water, won't you please? Thank you for joining me today.